Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10 of the In From Japan podcast. We actually made it to episode 10. Oh boy. Um, I'm Erroll Maas, and with me is the phenomenon from Suriname, Jason Courtar.
It's me.
And I was waiting for you to say something. I'm just like, is he gonna say something, or should I just keep going? But anyway, anyway, we're going to. So, welcome to the. Man, I messed up, but I'm still gonna keep going. I'm
Just
not
going. Just
redoing
go.
this.
Just keep going.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast where we talk about the latest news on Japan developed games and other things in relation to them. We are available on Spotify, Podbean, and YouTube. Apple Music to be determined. We're going to start this podcast, like we always do, with the games we've been playing recently. So recently I have been playing, I just finished, actually, my free trial of Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn.
Ooh. Does it mean you're dipping further into it, or are you like full on Final Fantasy 14 for now?
I want to
Mm-hmm.
later, because for one, I didn't get to the job I wanted. The job
Mm-hmm.
I want, Dark Knight, that's
Ah,
not available until the expanded
yeah.
content. Um, and also, I I don't like the armor I currently have.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just looks kind of weird. So I want to change that. Um, I've mostly been playing with a friend of mine, and it's been pretty fun just going through dungeons. It kind of sucks though, because the quest structure between dungeons isn't very
Mm-hmm.
good.
Well,
It's like, you
that
know,
seems
it's
to be the complaint about vanilla Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn. For the most part, like people say, like, okay, the quests aren't that interesting, or it's a lot of FedEx quests, as they say, like go here, do this, go kill that, come back, do this.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. And there were two in particular that were really
Mm.
annoying. There was one where you had to talk to a bunch of these sylphs, and you had to talk to them. You had to just go up to them, do the dance emote in
Mm-hmm.
front of them, and then go talk to another one and do that. You had to like do that like five
Mm.
times, and it was really annoying. And then the other one, which was like right before the last dungeon I did, was you had to talk to some people and find these items, but it didn't like specify where they were. It just gave you a general area,
Mm-hmm.
so it took longer than it should have.
I see.
Otherwise, I've been enjoying that game. I got my Chocobo mount.
Fancy.
Um, and besides that, yeah, I plan on going back to it at some point. There are just gonna be too many games coming out. Uh, and also I started Dragon Quest VIII
Ooh.
on 3DS.
Is it the first time playing Dragon
Which
Quest 8, or did you already play it on
yes,
PS2?
no, this is my first
Oh,
time
wow.
playing it, and it's kind of like, why didn't I play this earlier? This is so like my thing, and you can really see how Dragon Quest VIII kind of influenced Dragon Quest XI, just how the
Mm.
systems are and stuff like that. Especially after playing something like Dragon Quest V, which is a little more dated. Um, my biggest complaint is that because it's on 3DS, the graphics aren't all that great, and then the sound, unless you have headphones on, the audio isn't great
Mm.
either.
But isn't it
Um,
like the expanded version with more quests?
yeah, it has extra
Mm.
content, so it's probably the best version. But yeah, I've really been enjoying that. I don't have like a lot to say about it
Mm.
specifically yet because I just beat the second
Mm-hmm.
boss, which was actually harder than I expected. But otherwise, it's a Dragon Quest game. It's good so far. I'll have more to say about it
Okay.
later. Not that far in. Um, so what have you been playing?
I'll start off with the games I've played the least this week. I started up Pokemon Shield again. I got my Ice Badge yesterday, I think. Um, I, I don't mean to sound a bit negative, but I kind of. I think it's because I fell out of the groove of it. I kind of don't feel as attached to it as I thought I would. It's not like I'm um, not a fan of Pokemon anymore, but I don't know how to explain it properly. It's just I kind of don't feel the magic at the moment. Maybe if the mood
Yeah,
strikes me again,
it
then
happens.
I'll be more willing to play it. But now it's just like business as usual. So I kind of put it off to the side for now. Um,
You could try some. You could always try some other Mon games.
yeah,
Just
I
saying.
could, but that time investment, man, that time investment. I've also been playing Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross for mobile. Um, it's as I mentioned last week and the week before that, it's pretty much a JRPG, turn-based JRPG, and it's fine, I guess. I might uninstall it because I feel like I've seen all that I could possibly see, apart from reliving the story from the manga and anime. But it's
Yeah.
yeah, and it's also not running the greatest on my phone. So
Ah.
yeah, I'm probably gonna uninstall it. It's not that it's hmm
Wait. Hold on. Is the manga finished?
no, but it's in its final arc, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Because I've watched a couple of the anime things on that are
Yeah.
on Netflix, and I just didn't
Oh,
know.
okay. No, I think it's now in its final arc. And the most recent anime has gotten a lot of flack for the way they've animated a pretty significant fight. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think popularity around the title Seven Deadly Sins might have cooled a bit. So
Yeah.
I'm not really feeling it. So I'll probably delete it soon. Oh, I've also played the Final Fantasy VII demo. Um,
Oh right, I did play that a little bit, but since it was just like the demo I played before, I was like,
yeah,
oh okay.
so I finished it. It's pretty great. The battle system is kind of hectic though. Um, I mean, it's an evolution of what's in Final Fantasy 15. Um, it has well, it's real time action combat and with some turn based elements because as you fight, you fill your ATB gauge, and when your gauge is full or certain sections of your gauge are full, then you can use that to enable abilities or spells or items or whatever. It's pretty fun. It's ridiculously beautiful. Like I have no idea how Square Enix is pulling this off on a base PS4. Um,
Dark
yeah, Dark
Magic.
Magic probably, or as in Final Fantasy VII, they're stealing the life force from the planet. So maybe that's how they're powering the graphics. Um, yeah, it's pretty fun. It's making me eager to play the full game. It's also making me sad that I don't have a PlayStation at the moment. So F in chat. But more significantly, for this week, I've been playing 999, Virtue's Last Reward. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. Um, so
Yeah. That's what I'm talking
funny
about.
thing, remember how you spoke about the Zero Escape games? I think last week, and you said like, yeah, the puzzles are kind of hard, and some of them I had to look up a walkthrough for. Uh, Okay, and so
Uh-huh.
I played the game, and I went through a few of the puzzles pretty easily, and I was like, what was he talking about? I don't get it. I mean, this is pretty fine. And then I'm now in probably the last part of the second act, and then there's a puzzle where you have to input 9 numbers, but in a specific sequence, so that the digital root of 3 rows add up to 15. So I'm not well. I mean, I'm not the greatest at math, so this is proving to be a lot more difficult than
Oh,
I anticipated.
I You know what? I was more specifically talking about puzzles in VLR because they're not math related, but you get kind of confused on what to do. For 999, I actually played the mobile version,
Mm,
so I didn't have to deal with the Sudoku stuff
okay. Well,
because I'm not a
well,
Sudoku fan.
I mean, I've played adventure games before, and a lot of them can be very esoteric, like Broken Age. Was it Broken Age? The Tim Schafer one. The Broken Age? Broken Age, yeah.
Is that
That
did Tim
that
Schafer
one
do that?
had some puzzles that were like very out there, in terms of
Hmm.
finding the solution, because it's so apparent, but it's also not apparent, and then you're stumped for so long that you just give up and say, you know what, I just want to enjoy the story, the voice acting. I'll just look up a guide. But with Zero Escape, I felt a bit more comfortable because it's, for me, a bit more familiar, to the Phoenix Wright games and the Danganronpa games. And with that, I have a lot more experience. Oh, and also with the Professor Layton games. So I was a bit accustomed to these types of puzzles. So the early
Yeah.
ones were pretty doable, but the one I have now, where I have to use quick math, uh, is probably the toughest thing I have experienced uh, in the last few years. So yeah, I'm pretty eager to get back into it, and hopefully next week I'll have finished the game with all the endings. Because now,
And then you'll be interested in playing VLR,
well, yeah,
which in my opinion is actually the
well,
best one.
I bought the entire Zero Team bundle last week or 2 weeks ago. Last week, yeah,
Good.
last week. So I have 999 Virtue's Last Reward,
Reward and Zero
Zero
Time
Time
Dilemma.
Dilemma, and the I Somnium.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
it
it
came
did.
with that.
So I was pretty psyched about that. That's why I asked you.
I've been playing that a little bit too, but I haven't gotten past the second Somnium because of time
Yeah.
limit stuff.
Okay, so I'll probably get to that after I finish all the three other games.
Yeah, that's gonna take a while.
Probably. Probably.
Um, so the next section on here is our In From Japan J list, where we talk about video game related anime and movies and such. But we don't really have anything for this week. Um, However, there is some news. So, Promare, Studio Trigger's most recent film, is supposed to return to theaters in April 2020. Now, whether that will still stick,
Mm-hmm.
oh, the U.S. theaters, whether that will still stick, I don't know
Uh,
because of all the stuff happening in the world right
yeah.
now. Um, but also, if you aren't able to attend the showing, we'll have to wait until May to bring Promare home. Digital copies and streams will be available on May 5th, 2020 in English. Physical Blu-ray and DVD copies will appear starting May 19th. Both standard and steelbook editions available. Also, the Digimon movie, Last Evolution Kizuna, supposed to have limited showings this Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I have a ticket to it, but I don't know if it's going to be canceled or not.
Okay.
Or if I should just cancel it.
If you cancel, can you
Um,
still get a refund?
Probably. I need to
Okay.
check. But it's not like breaking the bank. It was $12. It's not like it was like, oh my god, it was $20 or something. Um, Also, it's not necessarily video game related, but I figured maybe it'll help in these trying times.
Mm-hmm.
Is the original Kamen Rider will be available to stream for free on Tubi TV, on March 17th.
Ah. And you're a pretty big Sentai
It went
fan.
up early the other day,
Mm.
and and then they took it down. And so it seems that Shout Factory actually has some of the rights for the older Kamen Rider series.
Mm.
So that might mean we'll get official. So it means we're getting officially English subtitled Kamen Rider stuff now, which is great.
It's
Um,
probably indicative of the Sentai, Tokusatsu, and
yeah.
other genres probably trying to make a bigger splash in the West.
Well, Shout Factory is known for doing a lot of the older Sentai, subtitling a lot of the older Sentai stuff. Like on that Tubi TV app, they have most of them. I've actually been watching a little bit of Goze Sentai Dairanger, which is the season of Sentai that they took like a lot of footage for I believe the second season of Mighty
Uh,
Morphin Power Rangers.
is that the Alien Rangers one?
No, it's when they have it's still Mighty Morphin, but they have different Zords. They have the Thunder Zords.
Oh, I remember with the dragon and
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah, so it's where that comes from, and also where the White Ranger actually comes from.
okay.
So that's been pretty silly, but also very entertaining.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then the Sonic movie has unfortunately been delayed in Japan due to coronavirus concerns. I don't really have to get into that because the headline kind of says
Mm-hmm.
it. Let me see what the date is though. Is it delayed indefinitely or delayed? Um, yeah, it just said there's no dates yet,
Hmm.
so that's unfortunate. And so next is our recommended reading, watching, and listening list. Um, so we have the first one is kind of a spoiler with our first news story we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do, but whatever. So E3 2020 canceled. What that could mean for the future by Joe Screbbles, IGN. Uh, the internet reacts to the recent E3 2020 cancellation by Scott White over at DualShockers. Fighting Foodons was weird. By
Billy.
Billiam over on his
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Yeah. Ambitious Game Boy Color port. Punching Weight by Stop Skeletons from Fighting on their YouTube channel. Nintendo PlayStation grabbed headlines, but support for preservation remains dismal at best by Matthew Olson over at US Gamer. Do we still need E3? Developers across gaming weigh in by Mike Williams over at US Gamer. Why Akira Toriyama's designs were so crucial to Chrono Trigger's success by Daniel Dockery over at Crunchyroll. A tribute to Chrono Trigger's weird, funny, and depressing endings on his 25th anniversary by Nadia Oxford over at US Gamer. I actually bought Chrono Trigger today because it's on sale on Humble
Yeah.
Bundle for like
So I was
$7.50.
wondering about should I get that? I mean, I already have so much in my backlog, but then again, it's also one of the greatest RPGs ever, and RPGs are my jam.
Well, it's because I just got a refund for a trip that I
Oh.
canceled. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any refunds
so I got
coming
Animal
up.
Crossing and that. Yeah.
I should also
Um,
note, MinMax also did a deep dive into Chrono Trigger on their YouTube channel. So
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know they have a YouTube channel.
okay.
Yeah, I'll check
I'll
that
link
out.
you to the video later.
Yeah. Continuing on, we have Tom Nook's Animal Crossing Legacy, Greeting Businessman or Benevolent Provider by Cass Marshall over at Polygon. The Final Fantasy spin-offs you never knew about by Kat Bailey over at US Gamer. And Dark Clouds Ahead, a Level 5 retrospective part 2 by me over at Parallax Media, because I completely forgot to put that on the list last time. There's also part 1, and it links to part 1, and part 3 will be out
How are
next
you
week.
feeling about it that you finally put this out there?
Good. Yesterday was rough. Like you saw, I like kind of tweeted out like, hey, yesterday has been rough. Can a couple people like retweet this? I worked hard on this, and like a couple friends that I didn't expect to like pay any attention were like, okay. I'm still not getting as many views as I think it deserves, but
All
what
in
can
due
you do?
time.
It's a
All
small
in due
site.
time.
It's a niche article on a
All in
small
due
site.
time.
All right. So next we have the news
Yeah,
rundown.
so I'll start by going on about.
We're starting with a lot of bad news, unfortunately, because of the state of things in the
Yeah.
world. bad news, and then turns into good news, and then we go into unrelated news that's still like good and interesting, and just get the bad stuff out of the way
Okay.
first. That's what I
Okay,
was doing.
out with the bad juju. E3 2020 is cancelled due to coronavirus concerns by GameSpot, as reported by Timur Hussein. E3 2020 has been cancelled officially, and the ESA put out a statement saying, after careful consultation with our
What's
member companies regarding the health and safety of everyone in our industry, our fans, our employees, our exhibitors, and our longtime E3 partners, we have made the difficult decision to cancel E3 2020, scheduled for June 9th to 11th in Los Angeles. Following increased and overwhelming concerns about COVID-19 virus, we felt this was the best way to proceed during such an unprecedented global situation. We are very disappointed that we are unable to hold this event for our fans and supporters, but we know it's the right decision based on the information we
what the?
have today. Also worth noting, people who um, uh, or who will be canceling their appointments can get in touch with the ESA for full refunds. And they're exploring options with their members to coordinate an online experience to showcase industry announcements and news in June 2020. So yeah, as we've discussed in prior weeks, we speculated that this might happen because of all the other things leading up to E3 were being cancelled or shifted to a later date. We pretty much expected this to happen. Also, when was it 8-bit?
I
Yeah,
am
I am
8-bit.
8-bit. When
Yeah.
they pulled out, and that was pretty much an indicator of, okay, this is probably not gonna happen because with a time crunch, you'd be hard pressed to find someone as good to take over those duties. So, yeah. Um,
Oh, we should have switched those other stories. Luckily, a lot of the companies that planned on doing media stuff
mm,
still plan on doing stuff.
yeah,
Microsoft, Ubisoft,
yeah.
Nintendo, Square,
So
they all plan on still doing
the
stuff.
physical expo and physical um, gathering that was E3 will no longer be taking place, but most companies will switch over to a digital presentation, which for a lot of people outside of the US and who are unable to attend E3, this might
Pretty much
yeah,
the
it's pretty
same.
much the same. So it's business as usual for me. I'll still watch from home or wherever, but for a lot of
Hey, we could do a live reaction
that's true,
maybe.
possible. We'll look into it. But as I was gonna say, people who were gonna exhibit there, journalists who were gonna go there and network and work,
Me.
or people who were gonna do jobs concerning other facets of E3.
Mhm.
Now they're
Yeah.
pretty much looking for work, or yeah, they're affected by this in a way that's yeah, kind of crappy, and then our hearts go
Yeah,
to
like
all of them, and we hope this.
to be honest,
Mhm.
oh, sorry, I
No,
didn't mean to
no, go ahead,
interrupt
go
you.
ahead.
Like I cover events
Mm.
usually because that's like my favorite thing to do, and seeing all these things be canceled is just really disheartening, you know? Because like, what do you do when the thing you like love doing the most you actually can't do when everything
Yeah.
gets canceled? But otherwise everything else is fine. I have some other stuff
Mm.
going on that might be good that you guys might know about in the future that I can't talk about yet.
Stay tuned.
And it it's just crazy because like freelancers, like actual freelancers, because I know I'm considered a freelancer, but I'm not like not at the level as some people that the people who freelance for like IGN and GameSpot and all
Mhm.
that, and they are, especially the people in California, are just getting hammered with stuff because first before coronavirus they had to deal with the AB5 and all that.
Mhm.
Joseph Noop does a lot of good work on stuff with the AB5. He has his own was it the 1099 podcast? He does a lot of good work about stuff about the AB5 and speaking to a lot of different freelancers, not even just in like media, but in the game industry, like composers, people in Hollywood. He's talked to like lawyers about it on his podcast. He does a lot of good cover, probably the best coverage I've seen on it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's a bummer, but the nice thing is at least there's still gonna be digital stuff. So it might not be E3 as we know it, but we'll still get plenty of hype stuff.
Yeah, so look forward to the digital presentations. Like Square Enix is also looking into options on how to show their games with E3 being cancelled, and there's some good news out of all of this.
Yeah, we won't have to watch cringy musical performances that have nothing to do with anything.
I guess. Also, in the week of GDC's post moment, devs have banded together to form a relief fund, I guess.
Oh yeah, sorry, I don't know why the whole title didn't. Oh no, that is the whole title.
It's on US Gamer, a feature by Eric Van Allen or Allen. It's a pretty lengthy article, and it's all about devs coming together for the greater good and helping each other out in these trying times, which is definitely a good thing, because GDC being
the reason the reason I put this in is like, but not all indie developers are Japanese, is because like Japanese indies have been becoming more prominent in the past year or two. So I don't know how many people were planning on maybe coming from Japan, how like the devs that might have been planning on coming from there. But I thought it was still important.
I mean, it's probably going to be aimed more at Western devs, but I'm assuming they won't turn away Japanese devs.
Yeah.
And moving on from that, Discord also expanded their streaming services and chat features, because most people will be staying at home or working from home, so Discord was nice enough to say, you know what, let's help you guys out. Where is it? In a statement, Discord detailed that the company will be expanding its live streaming and chat features for all users to help those affected by the coronavirus to maintain contact with others, or to assist employees and students that are working or studying remotely. Specifically, the company said that it will increase its live streaming and screen share features from 10 to 50 users for the next 2 months, and that it will keep this limit up while it's needed most critically. And that's from DualShockers, that's reported by Ryan Meisler. Okay.
Some inside baseball, we're actually using Discord right now. But anyway.
Yeah. So
that's great.
I mean, it's unfortunate for the greater gaming industry that this is happening, but it's also showing how innovative and helpful people can be. But they need to come together.
Making the best of a bad situation.
Yeah.
Making the best of a bad situation.
Okay. Okay, that's been done. All the bad juju's out of the way.
Yeah, that was all the bad news is out of the way. Well,
most.
Yeah, because this next news story, it would have been bad news, in a certain way, from a certain point of view. So earlier this week, it was reported that Resident Evil 3's Nemesis could break into safe rooms. But there was an update where Capcom clarified that safe rooms are still safe. Nemesis cannot follow you into them. Nemesis will still be relentless, but there are still areas that are off limits to him. So there may be rooms that are similar to safe rooms, but aren't actual.
If I'm not mistaken, it mentions that the area in the demo that people played or saw, the Nemesis broke into something that resembled a safe room, or um, for all contents available in that area, it would appear that it was a safe room, but it was just a scripted event, and normal safe rooms are still safe.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I just wonder, because when is Resident Evil 3 coming out again? Planned to come out in April, right?
Yeah, it looks like
April
it.
3rd,
Yeah.
2020 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. I just wonder if they're gonna, um, I wonder if they would postpone it just because of the subject matter of Resident Evil,
Yeah, Japan is usually
or
pretty sensitive about that. Um, they probably
or
have.
because of the fact that it's a
Mhm.
sequel and it's not necessarily dealing with an
Mhm.
outbreak, like as if it were a remake of the first
Yeah.
one. I just makes me very curious.
Um, I mean, on the one hand, we're gonna need something to keep us entertained as we're cooped up in our houses. Um, but on the second, uh, on the other hand, it might also be kind of uh, triggering for some people, or insensitive uh, for others with the subject matter. But yeah, I mean, I'd be fine. Would you be fine playing
I
Resident Evil
mean,
at this time?
yeah, I'm not a survival horror person, but like I saw the kind of funny like preview of
Mm.
it, and I was like, well, at least look, things might not be great right now, but at least we're not dealing with giant mutant frogs trying to eat us. Um, so next story.
Yeah.
Captain Tsubasa Rise of New Champions details episode New Hero mode. Create your own character and join one of 3 middle school soccer teams. This is from Sal Romano over at Gamatsu. Bandai Namco has detailed Captain Tsubasa Rise of New Champions mode episode New Hero, which lets you build friendships with your favorite characters, learn new skills, and experience dramatic stories. I'm guessing this is the mode that we talked about. Yes,
Did
it
you
is.
create a character?
Yeah, you create your own character. You can join Furano Middle School of Hokkaido, Toho Academy in Tokyo, or Musashi Middle School. Once you've created an avatar in your likeness and picked a club, your aim will be to defeat Tsubasa's team, Nankatsu Middle School, and so you can't be on. That's funny. You can't be. You can't team up with
Oh, that's
Tsubasa
unfortunate.
and compete to join the new Hero League. I mean, maybe you can later, but
I mean, it's probably because
uh,
Tsubasa has a pretty tight script surrounding his team and the characters
yeah,
from his team.
yeah. After the national tournament, players were about to leave their school team when they heard about an unexpected tournament, the new Hero League. This competition was going to be held to select the best player for Japan's All-Star team. The best players, excuse me. As the International Junior Youth Tournament was cancelled. Get ready to experience dramatic stories and different outcomes depending on the school you choose, and build friendships with your favorite players to increase your friend rank. By bonding with a specific character above a certain level, you may even acquire the character's unique skill and special move. Alright, so that's another just neat little thing.
Yeah, it's a good addition, I'd say, because if it was only exhibition mode or arcade mode, it'd be pretty dull. There's a story mode, and then there's a story mode for your own created character. That's pretty neat.
Because it seems like they're really kind of pulling out all the stops for this new Captain
Yeah,
Tsubasa game.
I mean, I'm kind of still lukewarm on the title, but
Which is fascinating, because my friend who's usually very picky about graphical
uh-huh.
stuff, he thinks it looks great.
Uh, I mean, in the moment to moment, um, or the actual movement of the characters, it kind of feels jerky. I think we also discussed this a few weeks back when US Gamer also
Yeah.
had a piece about it, and they also said like it's cool, but it's also not the greatest looking soccer game. But if you're looking for an accurate representation of how soccer or how players who play soccer move. It's not the same thing. And for me, someone who
Hmm.
has played FIFA and PES, I'm kind of picky. I'm really picky about animation, and now starting to sound like Vaughn from our sister podcast, who's also picky about certain animations.
The pickaxe
Yeah,
animation.
like I mean, if I can get my hands on it, I'll give it a fair shake. And I'm also looking forward to seeing how it's received.
Yeah. Um, I'm still excited for it. I'm just waiting for that release date. Um, but because it's a Japanese game, it could always experience delays, and who knows, and I don't know. Hopefully it comes out.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. The next story is Final Fantasy VII Remake producer wants to do Final Fantasy V next. And oh boy, that is some news. It's by Lindsay Lovebridge from Anna News Network. Uh,
oh, you're using a different
I
one.
am. Which one are you
Yeah,
using?
the one that's on the dock
Oh,
is a Nintendo
okay.
Life
Because
article.
the one I have. Oh yeah, I forgot. You posted another link. But anyway, it's probably from the same source. We hope.
Yeah,
It was in an interview with Game Reactor, where Yoshinori
yeah,
Kitase. Yeah,
Yoshinoshi.
I like mixed his first and last name. My bad. Yeah, Yoshinori Kitase has his sights set on a possible Final Fantasy V remake next. He told Game Reactor in Madrid, the first Final Fantasy that I worked on myself was Final Fantasy V. That hasn't been remade with the more realistic kind of approach yet, so I think it might be quite interesting to do a FF5 remake someday. Kitase was credited as a field planner for the SNES RPG in 1992. The game was later ported to the PlayStation with a cinematic opening and ending. The Game Boy Advance also had a version. It also came to the Wii's Virtual Console, the Wii U, the new 3DS, iOS, and Android and PC. Okay,
Oh,
the
yours
source,
actually has more
yeah, the
information,
source
but yeah.
is Game Reactor, as reported by David Caballero and Juan A. Fonseca. So yeah, it's pretty big news because I think most people expected either Final Fantasy 4 or 6 because they're the
Hmm.
more beloved uh, Final Fantasies of the classic era. Um,
Yeah, 5 is like a black sheep
well, Final Fantasy V is
type
not
thing.
necessarily the black sheep. I'd say Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3 are the black sheep. And not to say that they're not good, but they're just, I mean, compared to,
Different.
yeah, compared to the other ones, they're kind of bare bones. Um, Less meat on
Mm.
them. Final Fantasy 3 did have a pretty substantial remake back in the day for the Nintendo 3DS. No, DS, sorry. Um,
And there's the PC version now that we have.
yeah, there's also an Android version of that game.
Yeah, that
So
one.
that's pretty much dealt with. But yeah, that they're thinking of Final Fantasy 5 instead of 6 is pretty big. Um, which just goes to show you how the fans receive a game doesn't necessarily mean the same thing for the creators. Because if I
Yes, I highly recommend the Final Fantasy V boss fight book it's published by Boss Fight Books. It's not a book about boss fights.
Kohler wrote it.
Um, yeah, by Chris Kohler of Kotaku. Have you read that?
No, because I'm not really super familiar with Final Fantasy V. I played it a bit, but I don't know the ins and out of it. As with say for
Oh, it's not like you need to know the ins and outs.
no,
Like,
I
I knew
know, I know,
nothing about Final Fantasy
I know,
V
but
before. It's a very good read.
I'll consider it. But I'd like to be a bit more familiar with Final Fantasy V before I dive into that one.
Alright. Because I believe I wrote was it like kind of like no, it wasn't a full review. I kind of wrote a preview of it for Game
Mm-hmm.
Skinny a couple years ago. I'll have to put that in the doc. So yeah, I think that's insanely interesting.
Yeah.
That they're thinking about that, like, cause I think about how on the other side, like different Dragon Quest games that could get a remake, like eventually.
But let's see, most of them already have been remade for either the DS or mobile.
No, but I mean like a
full
modern
3D modern Dragon Quest 8, 11.
like it's like 11, because 11. Oh, I don't want to spoil that for you, but I think I already have. Dragon Quest 11 is connected to another highly acclaimed Dragon Quest game. I'm not gonna say which. But so if they remade that game with like with the Dragon Quest 11 graphics, like, oh my god, that'd be crazy. And it could be leading to that. Who knows?
I mean, it could be.
Anyways, yeah, Final. Don't expect a Final Fantasy V remake anytime soon, though, because they're still working on 7.
That's true, but then again, Square has said that Final Fantasy VII is being treated as a proper numbered release. I mean, the remake is being treated as a proper numbered release, so they might shift to. I mean, they have other episodes planned. Though no official word is out yet, but there's also Final Fantasy 16 to consider, and probably
and then
maybe they'll let the Bravely Default or the Octopath team take on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because I believe the Bravely Default people were the people who did the Final Fantasy 3 port.
And the 4 Heroes of Light game for DS.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, I think old school Twitter old school gaming Twitter would lose its mind if a Final Fantasy V remake came out in the Octopath engine.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Just think about it.
I still need to play that. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I mean, you get the modern flourishes, but you also get to keep the classic sensibilities.
Yeah. Oh, that would be crazy. Stop doing that. Don't.
Okay, now I have to write something about.
Don't do that. Don't give me hope. Anyways, next story. I'll take. Oh no, I'll take this one, and then you can take the one after. Okay, so The Legend of Zelda Hyrule Historia digital release is set for April 14th, 2020. This is by Jenny Latta over at Siliconera. So, A Legend of Zelda Hyrule Historia digital debut is on its way. On April 14th, 2020, the compendium will launch on Amazon, Apple Books, and Google Play. It will cost $19.99 USD, American dollars. $20 less than the $39.99 physical release. Hyrule Historia is a 280-page look at the games by Eiji Aonuma and Akira Himekawa. It is especially notable for containing a full history of the series. However, it also has concept art for multiple installments in the series and a Legend of Zelda manga within it. It originally launched in Japan in 2011 before getting an English release courtesy of Dark Horse Comics in 2013. The Hyrule Historia digital release means that all 3 of the informative Dark Horse installments going into all of the Legend of Zelda details will be available both digitally and physically. The Legend of Zelda art and artifacts has been available digitally and physically since February 2017, followed by the Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia in June 2018. In addition, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Creating a Champion collection that looks at the latest installment is also available in both formats. Again, April 14th, 2020. I know a lot of people might be like under quarantine or like staying inside because of coronavirus, and this gives you something new to read, especially if you're a big Zelda fan. And also, again, last week we talked a little bit about Barrett Courtney's Zelda in Review, which I highly recommend going in to watch because he goes really in depth. He did a really good job on that.
I still have to finish it. It's about 3 hours.
No, it's like almost 4 hours, isn't it? Like 3 hours, 57 minutes, 57 minutes.
Closer to 4.
Yeah. Where am I? Oh, you're this story.
Okay. Sega is upgrading Yakuza 0 and Kiwami PC versions to the deluxe version, um, as reported by Jenny Lada for Silicon Era. The special surprise, or there's a special surprise for people who own Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami, the PC version specifically. Whether you have it, or rather, whether you already bought it or you just bought it during one of the sales, both games are being updated to the digital deluxe edition. Okay, the digital deluxe edition includes a digital manga, exclusive wallpaper, and avatars for Yakuza 0. And Yakuza Kiwami also has digital manga, exclusive wallpapers, and avatars. Which is, I mean, it's nice. You're getting free stuff, so yay. And until March 10th, 2020, you can get Yakuza 0 for... Oh, it's already passed. Because they were on sale on Steam, but it's already passed, so, you know, look out for another sale. But it's also a game that's worth the full price, if you ask me.
There's a lot of content, too.
Yeah.
I have 0. I'm just still at the beginning, and just it's one of those things on my backlog that I'll get to eventually.
I got way past the beginning, I think. Where am I? I'm where I have where I just unlocked the management minigame, where you can manage businesses and put managers for each business and then get a profit.
Where you can have a chicken manage your real
exactly.
estate?
So the real estate minigame. So I just unlocked that a while back. But now that I don't have a PlayStation anymore, I can't continue the game. I was tempted to get the Steam version, but yeah. Oh well.
Man. Well, you'll be able to play it again eventually.
On PS5 soon, probably.
Let's hope so. Alright, next story. This comes from Giuseppe Nelva over at Twinfinite, which this story has been on other stuff. This was just like the first website I saw it on when it popped up. So the Phantasy Star Online 2 open beta has been announced and dated for Xbox One. So there was a closed beta not too long ago, but the official Twitter account announced that the open beta will start at 5 p.m. Pacific time on March 17th. And it'll be first on Xbox One. So we don't know when the PC version will launch or how much later, but we do know an open beta for PC is coming, and yes, I will play it.
You don't have an Xbox One?
No.
That's too bad. Fun fact.
The localized version...
I was considering on getting an Xbox One to replace the PS4 that no longer works, but everyone in my immediate vicinity protested against me investing into another ecosystem. So
what if you just got the all digital version?
I could, but I also have
have
so many Xbox 360 games that I'd be willing to play with backwards compatibility. True. So yeah,
don't listen to them. Do what you want.
Maybe, who knows?
The localized version has English and Japanese voice acting, no region locking, supports 4K resolution and Xbox One X. That's just, and then a related story is that during the closed beta, 2 players actually hit level 75, which I'm guessing is the level cap, or just as far as they got.
I mean, how long was the beta accessible for?
Like a weekend? Playing between only February 7th through February 9th, 2020.
That's not a lot of time, so the fact that they managed to get up to level 75 is pretty significant.
It says only 2 people managed to hit level 75 in a class. Most people, at 73.6%, stayed under level 20. Another important detail is that progress for Phantasy Star Online 2 closed beta will carry over. So people who hit these hallmarks maintain that level.
Nice.
The human race was the most popular overall. Boo! That's boring. However, more men chose to be human than any other race, at 24.30%. The most popular race among women was Newman at 12. Well, those are like the elf ones. 12.6%. A graph showing the percentage of classes. Hunters were the most popular at 24.3%, though Bravers came close at 22.2%. The least popular was Tector at 1.1%. Jeez. With the Fighter coming in at 2.1% and Gunner at 2.5%. Alright, well, that's enough percentages. I didn't know there was... Anyways, the whole point was that 2 people got all the way to level 75 in a weekend. Which is pretty crazy. They must have been playing non-stop. Or just be really good at...
Or all of the above.
Or, yes. Anyways, I wanted to get to the next story because it's much more important.
Yeah, so pretty much out of left field as far as gaming news goes, Reggie Fils-Aimé, or Reginald Fils-Aimé, as he's better known.
Oh yeah, that article is so weird.
It's a formal announcement, so I'm guessing that's why they went for Reginald.
I feel like nobody calls him Reginald though. Even like official people don't call him Reginald. Like
I don't know, man. But formal is formal. So Sir Reginald Fils-Aimé.
Sir, he was knighted too. Damn.
He was knighted by Miyamoto himself.
Sir Reggie Fils-Aimé Esquire.
Yeah. So Sir Reggie. I can't. Sir Reggie Fils-Aimé has joined GameStop's board of directors, as reported by Matthew Olson for US Gamer. So it just means he's now one of the heads of the company, or one of the people who will be making big decisions for GameStop. And if you know Reggie's history as a marketing exec for, I think, Pizza Hut, MTV, and Nintendo, you'd be pretty on the money to say that he might have a positive effect for GameStop's future fortunes, hopefully. Because, as we all know, physical is on the decline and digital is on the rise, so who knows what this could mean for the future. But here's hoping this might be something positive for GameStop, because GameStop suddenly not being there anymore is going to affect a whole lot of people who rely on them for work, for access to physical media, or for the secondhand market as well. So this is a pretty good sign, and hopefully it's a sign of more good things to come for GameStop.
Reggie's gonna turn it around. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows if anybody can? But what's interesting to note is that this job, it's not like this is his like full-time thing. It's because remember, I believe he also teaches classes at Cornell.
Yeah.
A university right now. His alma mater.
Yeah.
But since a lot of U.S. campuses are closing for a while due to coronavirus, that may not. Maybe he'll have a bigger role.
Well, I mean, he could still do a digital classroom.
Yeah, that's true. They are pivoting to that. But what I'm trying to get at is that like this isn't his main. Like he's on the board of directors, but that doesn't mean like he's gonna be able to change everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he'll help the course of the company.
He'll hopefully put them in. I mean, woof.
He'll hopefully.
I'm all tongue twisted. Yeah. He'll hopefully put GameStop in the right direction going forward. There we go. I don't know what happened there.
Okay, I'll take the second one.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
you too.
so Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has been doing well. It has done shipments and digital sales, or its shipments and digital sales have topped 2 million, as reported by Sal Romano for Gamatsu, the one and only Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Yeah, so total shipments and digital sales for CyberConnect 2 developed action RPG Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, that is a mouthful, have surpassed 2 million copies worldwide, which is great news because, I mean, any news is good news. Any good news that's above a million sales is good news, and
It's just crazy to me though, because it shows that the power of nostalgia can really overtake the power of like critical reception.
yeah.
Because it wasn't received all that well critically. I feel
I
like
mean, it wasn't like glowing eights and tens, but it was uh,
it kind of got average, middling
average, middling
scores.
scores. Like people were fine with it. Like, oh, it's nostalgia bait. It's fun. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, as far as games go, it's pretty much the trend. Like the Sword Art Online games
Yeah,
aren't the greatest RPGs, but they do pretty well. The Naruto games.
and it's just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like anime games are kind of going to the open world trend
Mm-hmm.
recently with like World Seeker and Kakarot, and I'm sure there are other examples. Those are just the only two I
Yeah,
have.
and it's a pretty good thing that they went the open world route because Dragon Ball was kind of stuck in the fighting game niche for a while.
Yeah,
And that they're willing to experiment with the property is a good thing. I just really hope and wish there'll be a new story coming up that isn't a tournament or a fight or rehashed material from 20, 30 years ago.
I don't think they're gonna do that with the video game. Well, Fighter Z had a new story.
Yeah, but
It was weird.
I just want to see something new in the Dragon Ball universe.
You should. Do you read the Super manga? Because apparently that's getting pretty good.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah, apparently the current arc it's in is actually getting really good. Um, next story is, um, Final Fantasy XI is getting a new scenario. Square Enix confirms in recent stream. This is by Alex Gibson over at Twinfinite. Having promised last year that something big was on the way for Final Fantasy XI in the future, Square Enix has revealed this week that there's a new scenario in development for the 18-year-old MMORPG.
Wow.
The news comes by way of Square Enix's episode 50 of freshly picked Vana'diel for Final Fantasy XI, which was spotted by Gamerscape. Final Fantasy XI's last major story update was Rhapsodies of Vana'diel back in November of 2015, which was said at the time to be the last story told for the game. Given that episode 50 was streamed in Japanese only very recently, we still don't have a full translation and therefore not much in the way of concrete details on what this latest scenario looks like in terms of gameplay and content. It was revealed earlier this year that the Siren avatar would finally be updated into the game and become obtainable after the February version update. It's just crazy to me that this thing, Final Fantasy XI is that old and still getting support.
I mean,
Although
it was recently
the
ported to
PC version
mobile
specifically.
platforms, so it's got a pretty healthy shelf life. And people still play.
It's just crazy. Yeah, I was playing the friend that I was playing 14 with, he said he's gonna try to make sure he tries it in case because it might not have that long left being an 18-year-old game and
Well,
such.
sure, but with it releases like World of Warcraft Classic, there's a pretty good market out there for nostalgia
Yeah.
driven stuff. I mean, as long as there are people playing it and people are enjoying it, I'm guessing it'll still be around for a few years more.
Yeah, I might try it if I can. Um, Next story is from Sal Romano over at Gamatsu. It is Yokai Watch Jam Yokai Academy YY Gakuen
Yeah.
Seikatsu announced for PS4 and Switch due out this summer in Japan. The Yokai Watch Jam Yokai Academy Y game teased in December 2019 is titled Yokai Watch Jam Academy YY
Why
Gakuen
Gakuen
Seikatsu
Seikatsu?
Katsu, and will launch for PS4 and Switch this summer in Japan. The latest issue of monthly Koro comic reveals. And in the game, players become a yokai hero and fight fierce battles while also enjoying academy life. It will feature new systems previously not seen in a Yokai Watch game. The new screenshot above was shared by Level 5 President and CEO Akihiro Hino on Twitter earlier this week. The other thing is this game is actually based on I believe it's based on a movie,
Mm-hmm.
in which the yokai are also people.
Huh.
It's one of those things where you know how like with Pokemon movies they're like, let's introduce this legendary Pokemon, or let's do this or let's do that. Yokai is just kind of like throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. It's like, screw it, we're turning them into people.
Yeah. It's like, we'll never beat Pokemon. Let's just do our own thing.
Well, because their popularity exploded and then really declined. You can learn more about that in part 3 of my level 5 article coming next week. But yeah, I just thought it's interesting that they're making a game out of it. I'm interested to see how this develops just because, well, Yokai Watch 4 is available in Japan and we are getting it localized, but level 5 has been in a weird spot with the Inazuma 11 Heroes Great Road delays and the Yokai Watch 4 delays and the Yokai Watch 4 problems after release and then Yokai Watch 4 Plus. So I'm just interested to see how this turns out. As a big Yokai Watch fan. That's really all I had to say about it. I have not seen the movie yet. So
I was gonna tell you, I saw some of those mystery egg toys with Yokai Watch branding in one of the service stations here. So I'll probably snag
Fair.
a few and
yeah, please do.
and support it from my home country.
Yeah, that's so odd.
It's like so
I don't
random.
think
Like I know if I see something like a Marvel superhero or a DC superhero, it's pretty much to be expected.
Oh, okay.
But Yokai Watch is pretty out there.
I mean, it's kind of most level 5 games are pretty popular in Europe. So, but you're in South America, so I don't know anything about how things are over there.
I have no idea because it's also so split. You have the Spanish-speaking territories. You have me. That's the Dutch-speaking territory, and then you have all the others
that people don't even know that exist.
So yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, get some of those, and if they have like if it's one of those things where, is it like one of those things where the thing is in Japanese, like on the machine, there's still the text is in Japanese still?
It's like localized, and also I'm guessing it's from there.
Yeah. Oh, what the heck? All right, you'll have to report back to me on that. Take some pictures. Next, this is actually also a story that came from Courtar comic. This story is as reported by Sal Romano over at Gamatsu once again. Monthly Courtar comic teases new action game epic for Switch that utilizes system to its very limit. So, you know, just like any third-party game.
Wow.
The latest issue of Monthly Courtar comic teases a new action game epic to follow Splatoon and Fortnite for Switch due out in 2020 in Japan. The game, which comes from an unannounced publisher and developer, is reportedly set in a new world that utilizes Switch's performance to its very limits, where battles break out between skyscrapers in the middle of a peaceful city. A key visual featured in the magazine shows a boy, the protagonist, and a mysterious monster in a New York-like city. They don't really have the picture, though, unfortunately. While further details about the game are currently unknown, a manga adaptation is already being planned. some people are kind of wondering that it might be like the re-announcement of Ninjala.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's a game that had like a lot of hype behind it a couple E3s ago. They had like a whole booth. You play as these like kids and you run around with like baseball bats and hit each other. I don't know. It's kind of Splatoon-esque though, like the way it looks.
Wait, I think I remember this one. Yeah. Yeah, I do remember it.
Yeah, so it could be a re-announcement of Ninjala, or it could be a completely new thing. We have another story about Nintendo and a few stories, so it might have to do something with that. But you'll have to stay tuned. So next story is you.
So Demon Slayer, or more known as Kimetsu no Yaiba, has games coming up for PS4, iOS, and Android. It was announced in the latest issue of Weekly Shonen Jump. And both titles will be published by Aniplex. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Hinokami Kepputan is a demon slaying battle action game for PlayStation 4 due out in 2021 in Japan. The developer is unknown as of now. The game follows the story of the manga and is seemingly a title where players become Tanjiro Kamado and relive the original story. Sure, so it's pretty much as you expect from an anime game. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Keppu Kengeki Royale is a free-to-play, asymmetrical, wow, that was a tongue twister, asymmetrical battle survival action game developed by Soleil for iOS and Android. Its release date was not announced, and battles between demon slayers and demons will occur on maps that reproduce the world of the manga. Weekly Shonen Jump did not have any screenshots for either game, so that's interesting. And this comes from Gematsu as reported by Sal Romano. On the one hand, yay! It just goes to show you that Demon Slayer is reaching its peak in terms of popularity. And with the peak comes game announcements, and I was already wondering when this was going to be coming. And it also had me worried, because how do you adapt something that is more of a story as opposed to a series of fights, if that makes any sense?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this, and it can be just as well a battle brawler like the Ultimate Ninja series, or the One Piece Burning Blood games, or a Musou games, and it'll just be fine. But yeah, I'm overthinking it probably.
I haven't watched it yet, so.
Have you watched any of the episodes? Oh.
No, I've been meaning to get to it. I just haven't yet.
Oh, you're in for a ride. That's all I'm gonna say.
I just have so much other stuff to watch, and it's like it's on my my like Hulu list or whatever.
It's a pretty short run. 20 episodes.
Yeah. Oh, it's finished
the
already?
The first season is finished. There's a movie coming up that'll be recounting the next arc of the manga. 26 episodes. I'm sorry, 26 episodes. The first season is 26 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Which isn't bad.
The usual length for like really good.
Yeah, and it's also probably nearing its end in the manga, as far as I can remember. So yeah, you can probably get into it now, and the movie will be there when you are finished with it.
Yeah. I'll have to try it out at some point. Next story. This is again from Sal Romano over at Gematsu.
Does the guy even sleep?
He does, because some stories will be late, and like the one about what was it? Something about Sony leaving E3. He actually did that one kind of late. probably because of whatever time it is where he is. Because I remember my friend was like, "Oh, Sony just pulled out of," or no, was it Sony just pulled out of E3 or Sony just pulled out of? There was some story, and he's like, "Yeah, that's not happening this year," and I'm like, "Oh no, I know that. Like, I know that story happened. That's actually from a while ago.
Okay.
He just only checks Komatsu right now. Yeah. Anyway, this story, Tokyo Games make announcement for one of studio's 4 initially teased projects on March 13th. So by the time this is up, they'll probably have made the announcement. Tokyo Games will make an announcement in the evening of March 13th, Japanese Standard Time, for one of the 4 projects initially teased when the company was established in September 2018. Game designer Kazutaka Kodaka, who I believe is also the creator of Danganronpa, said. There will be an announcement tomorrow night, Kodaka said on Twitter. It will be one of the things we introduced when we announced the establishment of the company. One of those projects was Death March Club. Assuming it's not that, it could either be the Limit Cross Despair game featuring a joint scenario by Kodaka and Kotaro Uchikoshi, the creator of Zero Escape, the Everyone is a Villain anime authored by Kodaka, or the Dark Fantasy X Mystery led by Kodaka in partnership with Spike Chunsoft.
So, a lot of guesses, but no certainties.
No, we'll probably know by tomorrow. I'm sure we'll talk about it on the next podcast.
Definitely.
I'm very excited. As a fan of both Danganronpa and Zero Escape, I'm very excited. For whichever one it is. I believe Death March Club is planned to come out this year. At least in Japan. I don't know about worldwide. It's like a... something about elementary school kids killing each other or something. Which is... it's messed up. But... like, look, it sounds messed up. But the way they do things... the way Uchikoshi...
Yeah.
It's Uchikoshi and Kodaka. Yeah. So there's gonna be like... there's gonna be some crazy themes in there, and there's gonna have like a social commentary, maybe, probably, who knows? Some weird twists and turns. Maybe it's all a dream. Who knows?
It'll be great.
Yeah. Next one. You can take this one.
Okay. Lego Super Mario officially unveiled. And it features an interactive Mario and fan favorite characters, as reported by as reported by Nintendo Life by Ryan Craddock. So it's a pretty it's a pretty interesting set of figures. Like, it doesn't look like a traditional Lego.
It looks like Duplo more.
I was gonna say that it looks a lot more like Duplo, but it's
there are some Lego pieces thrown in.
Yeah, and it's a mix of like a board game and interactive media kind of thing.
Yeah,
it looks fun. I mean, it's true to the spirit of Nintendo and Lego. So hopefully they'll send us review copies, please. Because I need it for research purposes. So yeah, that's great.
Mamma mia!
Let's see.
Oh, I lost it. I lost my Mario.
It's fine. So yeah, there's no specific release date in place yet, but more info is set to be revealed, and it's planned to launch later this year. Yeah. I mean, it's super cool.
Give me, can we get, Legend of Zelda Bionicles?
Oh, that would be cool.
It would work. Okay? It would
I also saw on Twitter, I don't know if you saw it, I retweeted it probably, a Sonic set, like a Sonic set. Sonic Mania set is in consideration.
The Sonic Mania? Yeah. Oh, it was in consideration? I thought it was like, actually official.
No, it was in consideration, but yo, that one looks super dope.
Yeah. And then you could have Lego Mario and Sonic at the Lego Olympic Games.
Yeah.
It's a playset. Yeah, it's just super fascinating to see like what Lego gets the rights to,
Mm,
because they have Star Wars, they have Marvel and
yeah,
DC.
and the
Um,
Marvel or the Lego Marvel games or the Lego Star Wars games are developed by Traveler Tales, and they are the WB
yeah,
Games sub
yeah.
studio or own studio.
Uh,
So that's always
and there are Lego DC games, and then there's like they also have Jurassic Park and Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, and it's just like now they're getting Nintendo under that. It's just crazy. You can have like Mario go on adventures with like Luke Skywalker in
well.
Lego.
Let's not get carried away.
No, I don't mean in a game. I mean like
In real life.
playing with Legos. Like kids can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Um. So that's really cool. A cool new thing for
Yeah.
kids. Maybe I'll get that for my nephew when he's old enough, because I don't think my sister-in-law wants him playing video games until he's a
I
bit older.
mean, this is a way of cheating the system. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Being terrible.
Or you could get him the Lego video games and play together with him. Like,
He's a little too young. He's a little too young for that. He's only about
okay,
2.
then just give him a controller that's not plugged in.
Well, no, she doesn't want him looking at screens for
Oh
a
wow.
while. Um, but anyway, next story, and this actually broke right before we started
Hmm.
recording, and this is from a source that I've never really heard of before, but nobody said it's not.
Credible or nobody,
Yeah, nobody said it's
or
not
nobody
credible.
has said, "Hey, this is not true," or "I have information that says
Yeah.
otherwise."
Uh-huh. So, according to this is from RelyOnHorror.com by Rourke Keegan. Sources: PlayStation backs Silent Hill series reboot as Silent Hill's revival. You may recall a rumor that we previously reported on regarding the future of the iconic Silent Hill series. Namely, Konami had been seeking out developers in order to continue the Silent Hill franchise and seemingly settled on 2 new entries. What was reported at the time was a Silent Hill reboot along with some sort of anthology or episode Silent Hill. We have a trusted source regarding the news, and another source has corroborated with us that Masahiro Ito, creature designer for the first 4 titles in the series, is indeed working on a Silent Hill game as previously speculated. These same sources name Sony as the driving force behind bringing the series back, most likely as a PlayStation 5 exclusive, though this is conjecture on our sources' part. Our first source, which we come to trust well, indicates that Keiichiro Toyama, director and writer of the original Silent Hill, and Akira Yamaoka, composer for the majority of the franchise, are also returning alongside Masahiro Ito. The trio will helm a soft reboot of the Silent Hill series, possibly just called Silent Hill. SIE Japan Studio, which possibly includes team members from Project Siren, the group behind Siren Blood Course for PS3, will be behind its development in some capacity. This title has been in the works for about a year, our source states, which has no connection to the first. Was aware of Ito's involvement. Oh, no connection to the first source. Was aware of Ito's involvement in the new Silent Hill title and informed us of that information some time ago. The second Silent Hill title referenced in previous rumors is still being worked out at the moment, but is looking as if it very well could be Silent Hills, Hideo Kojima's famously canceled title.
Hmm.
So, Sony is working to patch up the relationship between Kojima Productions and Konami in order to resurrect the game due to the amount of buzz and continued demand for it 5 years after its cancellation. There's other stuff, but that was just a lot to read. So that's crazy if so.
I mean, it's about time that Silent Hill got back into the public consciousness, or it actually never left due to the mythical status of Silent Hills or PP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes out, great. If it doesn't come out, it's a shame because we're all hoping Konami gets its act together and starts getting serious about video games again.
I mean, they have been. Hasn't Konami been doing? Konami's been doing a little better recently with their Castlevania collections and their Bomberman stuff, but it's still not quite. They're still not
They're
quite
not
there.
like on the level of Capcom, where they can reinvent their
Yeah.
classic franchises for modern audiences.
Yeah, Konami's not back. Capcom
Yeah.
is back.
So yeah, here's hoping this will be good news in the near future.
Look, here's what I'm hoping, and this is a total thing that's not happening. But okay, you patch up things with Kojima and Konami, right? Now, what else has Kojima done? Metal Gear. Now, hear me out here. You bring Platinum back in, and you make Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance 2. That's it.
That's the tweet.
That's the whole thing. Yeah, that's the tweet.
I'm guessing it might be a bit dicey because Platinum would be like, okay, do we have Kojima's blessing to go all in on this or not?
Well, yeah, no, that's why you have to make sure Konami and Kojima are back on good terms first.
Yeah.
If possible.
Otherwise, they probably would not do it.
Yeah.
They'd be like, are you guys crazy? The gamers will crucify us if we even touch this.
I still hope that somebody out there is working on a spiritual sequel to Revengeance. Or like a spiritual successor. I'm sure there's somebody out there.
Just give Platinum some time. They'll come up with something.
If there's look, if there's somebody working on a game that's based on Final Fantasy 15 that looks amazing, what was that one called? Lost Soul Aside. I'm sure somebody's working on a Revengeance-like
something
game.
similar.
Yeah. Maybe it's one of Platinum's unannounced projects.
Who knows?
Alright, this next story is all you. I mean, all you and then I'll talk about it too, but you know what I mean.
A rumor says that 2 Nintendo presentations are expected to air before the end of March. Okay. Nintendo Life by Liam Doolan. So, the UK-based retailer game may have lifted the lid on a Nintendo Direct presentation ahead of schedule. Now, to add to this, VentureBeat staff writer, reporter, and verified Twitter user Jeff Grubb has published an article claiming a Nintendo Indie World video will likely be broadcast on the 18th of March, and a proper and a proper Nintendo
can I say something about this?
Is expected to follow on the 26th of March. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, no, I meant to say something about the Indie Direct specifically. That's why I stopped you. So usually next week, since it would have been GDC, there is usually an Indie Direct at the start of GDC. So I'm not surprised by that at all because of
the timing fits.
Just how the pattern, the timing fits. And last year, I believe that was when Cuphead for Switch was announced.
Probably.
And then the year before, no, that's a different one. So that last year was the one where Cuphead for Switch was announced. Now the General Direct, they just moved that to be after Animal Crossing comes out. That makes sense too.
Yeah, because they don't want to cannibalize their own sales. So they probably want to get that out of the way first.
And people are going to be like, they're going to announce all these games and everybody's going to be like, we just bought Animal Crossing, why?
Give us a break.
But at the same time, it's like, people are actually really hoping for Nintendo Direct because it'll bring a bit more hope to the world we currently live in right now.
My Twitter timeline has been begging for Animal Crossing
to be released early. Yeah, mine too. I actually pre-purchased it today because of that refund I got.
Like I would have pre-purchased it too, but I had other emergency expenses, and I just bought the Zero Escape bundle, so I'm kind of good for now.
Are you gonna wait on
Probably.
Wait, so you're not going to talk about it with us in a couple
Okay,
podcasts when we actually have an
I'll
Animal
talk
Crossing
to you
one?
guys about it, but we'll see once we're nearer to the date.
Just make sure you read up on it if you don't have
Yeah,
it by
sure.
then. Just so you
Yeah,
know some
sure,
stuff.
sure, sure, sure.
Because since you haven't played it
Yeah.
before, that way you don't feel
No,
completely
I'll
left out.
probably dip into Pocket Camp so I can get some familiarity with systems and whatnot.
Do you remember the what was that rumor from? Was it from like Emily Rogers or
Hmm.
somebody? Where like one of them, one of the Nintendo games has a tire or something.
What now?
Like some really generic thing where she was like, I can't say much, but I can say one of the new Nintendo games for 2020 has a tire in it.
I I don't know if I heard that rumor.
Like that week, it was like a huge
Hmm.
thing, and and everyone was like, "Well, could it be a new Mario Kart?" It's like, no, it doesn't seem too soon
Hmm.
for that. Like, well, it can't be F-Zero because they don't even have tires. But what if it was like a weird F-Zero
Hmm.
prequel, or it could just be something that has nothing to do with tires and just happens to have a tire in it? Like, nobody knew what she meant.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's Nintendo, and because Nintendo is so secretive, um, rumors are bound to crop up every now and then. And yeah, I mean, grain of salt.
Yeah.
Don't get your hopes up too high, but be pleasantly surprised in the near future, I guess.
Well, the Indie Direct is definitely. I fully believe the Indie Direct is
Yeah, I
happening.
believe it too.
The other one I'm not sure, but I hope it's happening.
I mean, we're pretty good with our backlogs for now. Nintendo's probably thinking like, I mean,
No, but I mean, like for the future, they could say like, oh, like it makes some new announcements
okay,
because they don't have
one good point that was
their.
made, I think, in the VentureBeat post was that March is typically when the fiscal year ends for a lot of companies, and it would be the same case for Nintendo. So it'd be
Yeah.
a good thing to drop the news around that time because investors will probably also get antsy and wonder, okay, when are the next things coming out? When can we see profits generated from Title X?
Plus, we don't know a lot about their 2020 lineup still.
Practically nothing.
Nothing past like Xenoblade
Yeah,
Definitive, which does not have a release date yet.
it's probably if Zelda isn't a fall game, it'll probably be the fall game.
You think it's gonna be fall? I have people saying Xenoblade is gonna be May.
Mm,
Is gonna be the soonest one. I guess we'll
yeah.
see. But a lot of sources say that Xenoblade is probably gonna be the May game.
Well, because
Um,
my reasoning is Xenoblade is well regarded. Some people call it one of the best RPGs ever. So Nintendo will probably put all of its marketing force into that. Um, yeah, I mean, we'll see.
yeah, we will see. But let's hope Nintendo brings brings us some good stuff soon. I mean, they are bringing us Animal Crossing soon still, so
Our saving grace.
they are bringing. Yes, they're bringing other good stuff soon too. But you know, um, so our main topic, well, since like the main topic would have been like coronavirus related, and I didn't really feel like doing
No, it's
that.
fine. It's fine.
So this was your idea,
Yeah.
and I think it was better to talk about is why we gravitate.
Why we
Whoops,
gravitate to
oh, I can't
certain
talk today.
genres.
Yes, why we
Because
gravitate to
I
certain
was
genres.
thinking about it for a few, or for a little while now. Like you pretty much
For like 2 minutes.
so you're pretty much known as the Mon game guy.
Which is funny because I'm far from an expert compared to some of the people I
Well,
talk to.
well, from all the work you've produced so far, I highly doubt that you're pretty good on that front. But yeah, I was thinking you're pretty much the Mon guy, and you like him, and you also like level 5 games titles. So I was wondering, what attracts you to these games and genres and
Well, you know what's funny is that
mhm.
that's actually kind of connected because so Mon games I obviously started with
Yeah.
Pokemon because like everybody started with Pokemon. Um, and then I got into Digimon, and then like one day I went to like EB
Mhm.
Games back when that existed. Oh boy, now I feel old. It was like the last EB Games we had, and I saw Dragon Warrior Monsters for Game Boy Color, and off the cover alone I was like, I want to play this. This is like Pokemon, but it looks
Mhm.
cooler. Um, and I had that game for a while. I never completely finished it because that's a pretty
Yeah.
long game. But um, it's a good one. If you look at like the old reviews from
Mhm.
back then, it was right before Gold and Silver came out in America, and it had a lot of like positive reviews
Ah.
because of well, it had a breeding system before Pokemon did,
So it pretty much was the
and it was like
protocol.
a very good
Okay.
placeholder. Yeah. Um, not placeholder, but a thing to
To keep you occupied.
for us to
Yeah,
bide our
yeah.
time. Yeah, before Gold and Silver. But and then the level 5 thing, the first level 5 game I played was also a Mon game, Ni no Kuni,
Oh.
the original one on PS3. Um and that was just because it was like at the time it was like a Studio Ghibli like JRPG
Hmm.
with like Pokemon like elements, like that's totally my
It ticks
jam.
all the
But
boxes.
yeah, even though I'm not that big of a Ghibli fan, I'm more of a Studio Chizu
Mm.
fan, which I would love a game in that art style. That's the Mamoru Hosoda studio that did Summer Wars and Wolf Children and stuff
Ooh,
like that.
you're speaking my
Um,
language.
but anyways, yeah. So Ni no Kuni was like just the start of the level 5 stuff, and then I went to Yokai
Hmm.
Watch and Rogue Galaxy and oh well, Dragon Quest 8 because that was actually produced by
Yeah.
Level 5. Um, I just really like a lot of people the gameplay of Level
Hmm.
5 games, especially more recently, can be a bit
Hmm.
polarizing, but the visuals and the
Hmm.
music I find are always very top
So it's
notch.
kind of like whimsical and fun and very light. Hmm.
Yes. Um, like, and it sucks. The people in America, they don't really give Yokai Watch that much of a chance. So it's not very popular here. And then it doesn't get that review all that well because the gameplay is kind of dated by the time it actually releases because of the 3DS and touchscreen base. I mean, Yokai Watch 3 came out just last year
Mm.
when most people had moved on from the 3DS already.
Yeah.
Um,
But when you see,
but that's why I'm hoping with 4 people because it looks like Ni no Kuni. I don't know if we're getting the PS4 version, but hopefully we get the Switch and PS4 versions, and people see it plays like the first Ni no Kuni, and people will be like, it's kind of like how a lot of people didn't get into Elder Scrolls before Skyrim, kind of like
yeah,
that kind of.
that's
That's my
true.
best example.
But let me ask you this: what of the gameplay attracts you? Is it just the monster breeding? Is it the battle system? Um, is there anything that really attracts you to it? Apart from
For
no,
Yokai
like
Watch,
any of
it's
them.
the just for level 5. Well, level 5 games are all like different, so it's hard to
Pinpoint one exact thing.
pinpoint what.
It's like a
Yeah,
special sauce. Like if it was a Pixar studio and
yeah,
and they
something
have
like that.
multiple movies but different genres for different art styles.
Uh-huh. I have not tried any Professor Layton
Oh, you
games yet, though.
should. You really should.
And I also haven't tried what's the other one? Little Battler's
Mm,
Experience. We only have one of
okay.
those though. Layton, I planned on getting the most recent one
Okay.
because it's on Switch.
Yeah.
Um, and then apparently I remember I was reading something about how there was supposedly an HD collection for Switch in development, but then nobody's heard about it since then.
Mm,
And this was like a year or two ago. There's like a Siliconera article on it,
okay.
and it's just strange.
Yeah.
So hopefully that eventually happens. Rogue Galaxy is another one. The gameplay again is a bit weird. I feel like people who like Tales games might kind of like it.
Which
No, Rogue Galaxy.
Okay.
Yeah, because of the gameplay of it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is it's one of those things where your regular attacks have cooldown once you attack enough times, so it can get kind of annoying running around. But it's also not the worst gameplay system. That's one of the games that I think could use a bit of a remake, just for a modern take on it. Otherwise, yeah, I think most of Level 5 games are pretty top notch. Snack World is, again, like I've said before, a bit weird, but still fun. I got kind of tired of it because you have to, you're just repetitively going through dungeons over and over again, as I had to take a break. But it's I don't know. I just really like Level 5 games specifically. I like other games too. Like I talk about these 2KO game things.
Which you could
I just gravitate towards those because of Zero Escape. And then JRPGs are obviously because of Pokemon and Dragon Quest and Ni no Kuni and all that.
Are you big into Final Fantasy as well?
Not so much, except for I played 15, and I played World of Final Fantasy because, of course,
it has Mon aspects to it.
Yeah, it's basically the Final Fantasy Mon game, and then I have Final Fantasy 9 on Switch, so I plan on playing that. And I've played most. I've played most of 7 as well, and most of Crisis Core.
Okay. That's a good selection.
But otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna get more into it after I'm done with Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest is just more of my thing right now, obviously. But yeah, so what about you?
Well, like for me, it's probably JRPGs, or RPGs in general, because I like storytelling. I like writing. I like using your imagination to create something that was never there before. That's always appealing to me. And anime and anime art style is also something I've always gravitated towards ever since I was young, because Japanese style animation and storytelling differs from Western style because they don't really hold back.
Yeah.
They're always aware of violence and some sexuality to an extent, and they're not afraid to show its ugly side, and that was really refreshing as a young person, seeing all of that. And JRPGs,
again, I just wanted to reiterate that, like, Mon games and JRPGs and Level 5 stuff aren't the only games I'm into.
No.
I have, we don't talk about Western games on the show, but my game of the year last year is Control. So, there's other stuff. And then I am excited for Doom Eternal, and there's other stuff. It just doesn't really fit in the podcast as much.
Maybe we'll do a one-off where we only discuss Western stuff.
Like an April Fool's Day one?
Great.
But yeah, I just wanted to say,
cool.
we're into other stuff. Just to mention it.
And to get back to my JRPG bit, I've always also been a fan of...
No, I also had to say... No, I'm just kidding.
I've always been a fan of Dungeons and Dragons as a concept, not really Dungeons and Dragons, because where I'm from, they don't really have that. But Western type fantasy, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, that sort of stuff. And then I was also introduced to Record of Lodoss War way back. And that...
Isn't that getting a game, like, soon? Like a new game?
I think so.
I saw a new game for it
Well,
announced
Record of
recently.
Grand Crest War had a game come out a few months back, I think.
No, it was Record of Lotus War was
Really?
this one. I believe so.
Let me check real quick.
I think it was on Gamatsu.
Let's see. No. Video games.
Yeah, 2D side-scrolling.
Well, it's not. It hasn't been released yet, I think.
It's in early access.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Oh, it was a couple weeks ago. No, that's a different thing. Oh, this is a different Record of Lotus, but it is in early
Okay.
access, or it's about to be in early access.
Okay.
Yeah, launches on March 13th via Steam Early Access. It's a 2D style Metroidvania.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, as I was saying.
Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth. Record of Lotus War.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying, Dungeons and Dragons, Record of Lotus War, that whole wizards and monsters bit, it always left an impression on me as I was growing up, and RPGs are the closest recreation of that. And
Yeah.
I specifically gravitate towards the Tales game and the Final Fantasy games. Tales because it's a bit lighter and more like a solid 8 B tier anime where the power of friendship overcomes evil.
Nakama power.
Basically that. And I like it for those reasons, especially. And Final Fantasy is grand with its ruminations on life, death, religion, gods, and all of that. And it's a willingness to experiment with genre conventions. I always admire. And I also like the Persona series because they're very much rooted in reality, even fantastical elements, but they're willing to discuss heavy themes about personality, psychology, religion, and society as a whole, and our role within all of those complexities. And yeah, that's super appealing to me. And that's pretty much the reason why I gravitate towards them. I think it's because I want to go back to that experience of seeing the Record of Lotus War and being in an RPG party and having a sword and defeating monsters, saving the princess, all of that good stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's why.
Like I like JRPGs and I've get into like themes like that too, but again, to contrast, some of the level 5 games have been like criticized for not getting into that kind of stuff. Like there's a review, I forgot who it was from, but a review of Rogue Galaxy saying like, oh, it doesn't go past like the episodic, like a more episodic Saturday morning cartoon type nature. And I'm like, it's like a JRPG about space pirates, and it doesn't, like, the way it is, I don't feel like it needs to go into a deeper story. It would be nice if it did, but like, I don't mind that it doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to experience something light or not as gritty and doom ridden as a lot of the stuff out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to relax.
I mean, it's funny because Yokai Watch is dark, but it's dark in a different, like, not the story, but just the concept. Because I mean, the mascot is a dead cat, technically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I do also play a lot of other games. I like fighting games because of the complexity they bring, and I like figuring out stuff.
I'm not a fighting game person, but there are a select few that I really like Soul Calibur 2 specifically.
I mean, more recently, I really got into Tekken. Um, even going so far as following a lot of pro players and seeing gameplay and tournaments on YouTube. And yeah,
watching Evo.
Yeah, I'm pretty much into Evo. I'm really looking forward to this year's tournament and seeing if that follows through.
Wait, they didn't cancel it yet?
Not yet.
Well, it's not until August,
Wait,
right?
let me check.
I believe it's not until August because I remember watching it last August.
Yeah, it's not canceled as of yet.
Yeah, so there's still time.
Uh,
So hopefully we actually get that.
Let's see. I also play a lot of Western games. Though I usually try to stick more to in the Japanese sphere of games. Yeah, that's a bit about me and my history.
So here's a question for you. What's the genre you can't really get into?
A genre I can't really get into. Probably. I don't really have a genre I can't get into. I can play pretty much anything. I can play sports.
Dating sims?
I can play dating sims. I can play sports games. I can play pretty much.
See, so I'm not really into sports games unless it's Captain Tsubasa or like FIFA 2010 or NBA 2K11. It's like very specific ones.
I mean,
but everything else, and I'm not into like dating sims either, really. But everything else, there's at least like one thing that got me more interested. Like I was not into strategy RPGs at all until I played Into the Breach, and then Into the Breach got me to try Fire Emblem Three Houses. And then now I'm not a huge strategy RPG fan, but I'm more open-minded to them now.
Oh, I know one niche, very niche genre I can't get into. That's match 3 puzzlers.
Oh yeah, no, can't do that.
For the life of me, I do not understand the concept, and I cannot figure out how to play those games. Like fundamentally, I get it. You match 3 things and you progress through the game, but I can't figure out how to do combos or special moves or whatnot. It's all a big.
I'm not the biggest fan of puzzle games until I did like what I played of Puyo Puyo Champions. But otherwise, I'm not really a big puzzle game person.
Yeah. Well, I was really into Tetris Effect when it dropped.
Oh yeah.
It was such an experience, and I really, really have fond memories of that moment in my life.
Oh, there's one more puzzle game, would be Puzzle Bobble. But that's only because it's related to Bubble Bobble, and they didn't have Bubble Bobble on Switch yet, so that was the only thing I could play. And
yeah.
But that's like the only puzzle games, really. Otherwise, yeah,
I think that's about it. I think we covered most of our bases.
No, I really hate this particular type of game. No, I don't know. First-person shooters are terrible. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm very excited for Duel.
Yeah.
I think we're just gonna have to end this podcast. We actually didn't get any listener questions except for Jason's friend asking us if our refrigerator is running.
Yeah.
Yes, it's running. Mine's running.
Well, puns are the worst, but also the best.
Yeah. So there will be a podcast next week, after all. I don't think I said anything about the next episode being canceled on the podcast, but there will be a podcast next week after all. We may or may not have a guest. The following week we will have a guest. Next week we might we'll see if
Fingers
somebody's
crossed.
available. Just to end with stay safe, stay hydrated, wash your hands, don't touch your face.
Be kind to yourself and to others.
Yes, that too. The one thing I don't get about not touching your face is like, what if you have a face washing regimen?
I mean, you can wash your face with
Do you just
with like soap,
like
with
a cleanser?
It's fine.
Yeah, because you're still, as long as you wash your hands before and it's like has kind of cleansing stuff in it, so it should be okay. No, I just asked because I actually got a facial cleanser thing today, and not thinking about it, and I was like, wait, should I actually have this? It should be fine. Anyways, yes, stay safe. Play video games, watch anime, watch tokusatsu, watch movies if you can like stream stuff. Use like stuff like Discord and Cast so you're still getting some social interaction.
Yeah, social distancing.
Social distancing, but also don't completely isolate yourself. Still talk to people if you can. You know, talk to your friends. It'll help us all get through this trying time, and then we'll come out hopefully better, and then we could all get things back to relatively normal soon. All right, and so we'll see you guys next time.